Good day, everyone. Today, I'd like to talk to you about a topic that affects millions of people. Together with my groupmates, we will report about it. I am Janessa Kled, and I will be the one to introduce our topic. Before delving into our discussion, let me read first the learning objectives. First, understand the definition and types of ADHD. Second, recognize the signs and symptoms of ADHD in children. And lastly, learn about the importance of professional assessment. Now, let's proceed to know what is ADHD. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. It's important for us to understand this condition because it not only impacts individuals with ADHD but also those around them, including their friends, classmates, and even their family members. ADHD is one of the most common neurodevelopmental disorders of childhood. It is usually first diagnosed in childhood and often lasts into adulthood. Children with ADHD may have trouble paying attention, controlling impulsive behaviors that they may act without thinking about what the result will be, or be overly active. It is not just about having trouble paying attention or being hyperactive. It's a complex neurodevelopmental disorder that can affect a person's ability to focus and control their impulses. It's something that people of all ages can have, and it's crucial that we learn about it to create a more inclusive and understanding environment. ADHD's causes are like puzzle pieces that fit together. First, there's a family connection. If your mom, dad, or siblings have ADHD, then you might be more likely to have it too. It's also about our brains. People with ADHD have different brain structures and chemicals, right? So, think of it like traffic cops in your brain not working perfectly. So also, some things that happen before you are born, like what your mom eats or if she smokes, it can also play a role. So, and sometimes if you bump your head or have certain infections, it can also lead to ADHD-like problems. So, it's not just one thing but a mix of family, brain stuff, and life before and after you are born. ADHD is a bit like a brain wiring difference. It's when the brain has trouble with things like paying attention and controlling impulses. Other conditions like autism or dyslexia have their own unique brain wiring differences. ADHD is pretty common and is usually diagnosed when kids are hyperactive or can't focus. So, unlike some other conditions, it doesn't go away as you get older. So, the way we help people with ADHD is different from how we help with other conditions. And it's important to understand these differences to provide the right kind of support. So today, we'll explore more about ADHD, what it's like for those who have it, and how we can support our peers who may have ADHD. Let's dive into this important topic together. So now I will give you to the next presenter to give you more information about ADHD.
So, hi everyone, I am Karen Justificar and I'm gonna be the one to discuss about the types of ADHD. So, there are three different ways ADHD present itself, depending on which types of symptoms are strongest in the individual. So, in the first bullet, we have their predominantly and attentive presentation. So, in this presentation, it is hard for the individual to organize or finish a task, to pay attention to details, or to follow instructions or conversations. So, therefore, if an individual cannot pay attention to details, how can he follow instruction, right? And of course, if he do not pay attention, he cannot follow instructions, it is hard for him to finish a task. So it's like saying that the person is physically there but mentally absent because his attention span is very limited. That is why he cannot follow the instructions or understand easily what you are talking about in that certain topic. And the person is easily distracted or forgets details of daily routines because, for example, you are conversing with someone and that someone doesn't really pay attention to your details because he is imagining things and he has his own world, right? So, of course, that person or that individual cannot follow your instructions and get the details that you wanted him to understand. So, that is in the predominantly inattentive presentation. So, in the next bullet, we have predominantly hyperactive impulsive presentation. So, in this presentation, the person fidgets and talks a lot. So, in this presentation, an individual is so talkative. It is hard to sit still for long for a meal or while doing homework. Smaller children may run, jump, or climb constantly. So in this presentation, it's much more um, intense than the first one, which is the inattentive presentation, because in this presentation, an individual talks a lot and he cannot sit still, meaning, di ba, we can relate when we have our like siblings or when we were in our elementary days, we have classmates who tends to be scolded by our teachers like badlunguna aning bataa, oy grabe aning bataa kalangas, tabian kaayo, like that, right? So it is in the hyperactive impulsive presentation, and the individual feels restless and has trouble with impulsivity. Someone who is impulsive may interrupt others a lot, grab things from people, or speak at inappropriate at times. So, being impulsive, no, even if kanang it is inappropriate, still that person is going to do that because kanang he cannot sit still. And a person with impulsiveness may have more accidents and injuries than the others. So, of course, if you are impulsive, you can get more injuries than the others because kanang, you cannot sit still, you cannot stay in one place. So, you need to roam around, talk a lot, like that. And so, it is more likely for you to get injuries than a normal individual. And the last bullet, we have combined presentation. So it means symptoms of the above two types are equally present in the person. So it's way more intense, right? Because the uh, description of the first and second bullet or the first and second presentation is present in the combined presentation. So meaning the individual in this presentation cannot focus, talks a lot, cannot follow instructions. So it is very really hard for that individual to understand a lesson. So it is a hindrance for that individual for hindrance to their learnings, right? So it's way more like lisod good kung kini nga presentation is naani mo. So because symptoms can change over time, the presentation may change over time as well. So for example, if karon nga time is you have the predominantly inattentive presentation, maybe sunod-sunod-sunod na po kaning stage nga predominantly hyperactive impulsive presentation. And then next day or sunod na pod is the combined presentation, which is very very kanang alarming, you know, in terms of kanang learnings sa usa ka individual. So that's all for my topic, and I hope you learned a lot for the types of ADHD. Thank you. So good day everyone, I am Angeline Larante and I will be the one to report about the signs and symptoms of ADHD or Attention Deficient Hyperactivity Disorder. So signs and symptoms of ADHD. It is normal for children to have trouble focusing and behaving at one time or another. So, of course, I know that we experienced this back then when we were just a kid. We love to play and move around a lot, and sometimes we do things to get the attention of our parents. Like, for example, when you want to buy that ice cream, and then your parents will just ignore you, or they will just say, what tay kwarta, or bawal na sa bata, dili na pwede sa bata. So you will cry and make tantrums because you want to buy that ice cream soon. And it's just normal behavior. However, children with ADHD do not just grow out of these behaviors. The symptoms continue, it can be severe, and can cause difficulty at school, at home, or with friends. Also, the symptoms is usually noticeable before the age of 6. So, the symptoms of ADHD can be categorized into two types of behavioral problems: the inattentiveness and the hyperactivity and impulsiveness. These are connected to what Mr. Fikar discussed. Child with ADHD might, inattentiveness, having a short attention span and being easily distracted, making careless mistakes, appearing forgetful or losing things, appearing to be unable to listen to or carry out instructions, constantly changing activity or task, having difficulty organizing things. So, in hyperactivity and impulsiveness, being unable to sit still, luhagan, constantly fidgeting, being unable to concentrate on task, excessive physical movement and talking, acting without thinking, interrupting conversations, little or no sense of dangers. So that's the symptoms of the ADHD. So again, these symptoms can cause significant problems in a child's life, such as underachievement at school, poor social interaction with other children and adults, and problems with discipline. So that's all about my report. I will pass the floor or the next slide with Miss Alolo.
Thank you, Miss Lorente. So, good day. I will be your reporter. I am Jessica Flor Alolo, and I will tackle about what teachers can do to help students with ADHD. For teachers, helping children manage their ADHD symptoms can present a challenge. Well, most children with ADHD are not enrolled in special education classes. That is because ADHD does not affect a person's ability to learn a specific skill set, such as reading, writing, or mathematics. However, some effects of ADHD, such as difficulty concentrating, can lead to some challenges in learning. That is why they need extra assistance on a daily basis. So, in communicating with an ADHD student, you need to give frequent feedback and attention to positive behavior, or simply to motivate them and not be discouraged. And as much as possible, be sensitive to the influence of ADHD on emotions, such as self-esteem issues, or difficulty regulating feelings. Eliminate criticism and blame. Teachers should help guide students as they cope with ADHD behaviors. When they receive negative messages, many will withdraw and shut down emotionally. As a result, they do less schoolwork. The third is understand that children with ADHD may become deeply absorbed in activities that interest them, or as what people call it, hyperfocus, and may need extra assistance shifting their attention. And now, when handing out assignments and tasks, You need to make assignments clear check with the students to see if they understand what they need to do. Provide clear and concise instructions. Using simple and direct language when giving instructions can help students with ADHD better understand and follow directions. So second is allow breaks. That is also important when with children's having ADHD. Paying attention takes extra effort and can be tiring. That is the reason. Okay, so next is allow time to move and exercise. This is actually connected to the previous bullet. So allowing short movement breaks during lessons can help students with ADHD release excess energy and improve their ability to concentrate. The last one is minimize distractions. In the classroom, you can offer preferential seating that allowing students with ADHD to sit in a location that minimizes distraction and maximizes their ability to focus can greatly benefit their learning experience. So remember, every student with ADHD is unique. So it's important for teachers to collaborate with parents, school support staff, and students themselves to develop personalized strategies that best meet their specific needs. So this is the end for me. Now I will pass the floor or screen to the next reporter, Miss Janessa. Thank you.
Now we are bound with what parents can do to help their children with ADHD. So first, give praise and rewards when rules are followed. Children with ADHD often experience more criticism than their peers. So to address this, parents can implement a positive reinforcement system. This means acknowledging and rewarding good behavior more frequently than focusing on the negative. So, for example, if a child with ADHD finishes their homework without getting distracted, a parent might say, "Great job completing your homework without any interruptions," and then reward them with a small treat or extra playtime. Then, second, give clear, effective directions or commands. So, children with ADHD often struggle with information overload. So, it's crucial to provide concise, straightforward instructions. So, for instance, um, instead of saying, "Please clean your room," "Put away your toys and make your bed," a parent could break it down into simple steps, like first, put away your toys. Once that's done, make your bed, and then you can tidy up your room. Third, develop routines around homework and chores. Structure and routines can be highly beneficial for children with ADHD. Parents can work together with their child to create a checklist for tasks related to homework, getting ready for bed, or preparing for school. This checklist serves as a visual aid to help the child stay on track. For instance, the checklist might include items like gather homework materials, complete assignments, and pack your school bag. And lastly, help your child build relationships and strong social skills. Children with ADHD can face challenges in building relationships and socializing. Parents can play a crucial role as role models. They should exhibit the behavior they want their child to adopt. Additionally, parents can actively support their child in developing at least one close friendship. This could involve arranging playdates, participating in group activities, and teaching the child skills like taking turns, listening, and understanding social cues. Thus, parents helping a child with ADHD involves a balanced approach of positive reinforcement, clear communication, structured routines, and social skill development. These strategies can be adapted to the individual needs of the child and can significantly contribute to their overall well-being and success. In conclusion, ADHD is a condition that affects individuals in various ways, but it doesn't define their worth or potential. So, by understanding ADHD better, we can create a more inclusive and compassionate community where everyone feels supported and valued. I'd like to leave you with a quote by Dr. Edward M. Hallowell, a renowned expert on ADHD. According to him, ADHD isn't a deficit of attention. It's a surplus of attention, a surfeit of the energy that drives attention. This quote reminds us that individuals with ADHD have unique strengths and abilities that, when harnessed and supported, can lead to remarkable accomplishments. So, let's embrace these differences and stand together as allies in supporting our friends and classmates with ADHD. That's all for our report. Thank you and God bless.